I'm Mike Barrell. I'm at the TM Forum Management World in Orlando, and I'm with Keith Willetts. Keith is the chairman of the TM Forum. Thanks for taking some time with us, Keith. It's been a really brilliant show. Great numbers, and I know every person I've spoken to here has been really pleased with their attendance and where the TM Forum's heading now and the depth of the organisation. I believe 10 years ago, you wrote a book on transformation of the industry, and you're coming out with another book. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, it was probably more than a decade ago now. We wrote The Lean Communications Provider, really foreshadowing the phase of the market that's now in, which is brutally competitive, mature market where people are fighting to drive out cost and be more agile and so on. I guess the reason why it took 10 years or more to happen was the growth of mobile just kept everybody solvent for a long time. But now that mobile is saturating fast, those chickens have come home to roost. And there isn't an operator out there that is not following some kind of transformation to a lean, agile position. What the new book's about, though, is what comes next. Because taking that cost out is something that doesn't solve the problem. It gives you a ticket to play, because if you don't do that, you're not going to be around. But the next wave of transformation, I call the third wave of transformation, is the transformation to a wholly new market. It's the transformation to the digital economy. And communications has obviously got a huge part to play in that. But on different rules, different business models, different players, different partnerships, different positionings than we've done before. So transformation of making your current business run better, you know what you're doing, you know where the issues are, and you know where to focus. Transformation to something you don't know what it is much, much harder and much more embracing.
Okay, in terms of the industry segment that the book's going to be relating to? Well,
I called it the digital economy, which is a little bit of a cop-out because that's anybody and anything. I truly believe over the next decade or so we'll see anything that can be digitized will be digitized. So we've seen books and music and movies, but we'll see vast swathes of the economy moving to a digital base. And you hear about them like e-health and e-money and e-government and smart utilities, and everybody's playing with ideas, but not a huge amount happening yet. That'll happen big time. So the question is, what is the role for the markets I know best, the communications industry, in that game? Do they become that much quoted fat, dumb pipe player, or do they emerge as taking a slice of those new industries?
Keith, what's the motivator for the book?
Well, I'm in the fortunate position of traveling around the world, meeting a lot of senior executives from right across the industry. I was just recently back from China, and conversations with executives. There's a real concern out there of how to navigate these waters. And I just thought I might have something to say about how we might navigate. Transformations, typical success rate is way below 50%. And we can't afford to get this one wrong, or any player can't afford to get it wrong. And by doing some of the right things, like knowing where you're going, you can drive that success rate way up. And I thought if I can do something to help that success rate of the transformation of the digital economy, plus it's kind of fun. I like doing it. So yeah, that's the main motivator.
You've been speaking to some of the world's biggest CEOs and what have you, of some of the world's biggest operators. Does the book apply to smaller organizations as well?
Absolutely, and it may well be that it's easier for the smaller players to turn faster. And of course, it's not just the communications industry as we know it today. It's this growing ecosystem of new entrants, new players. You don't have to own a network to be a service provider. We've used the term synonymously of service provider with communication service providers. There's content service providers, cloud service providers, application service providers, many, many niches of service provider. So I think you see a mushrooming of them, and actually a reduction in the number of network operators, because the network operator has to run on economies of scale. So I think you'll see perhaps a teasing apart some of those big companies. We already know, for example, Telefonica has launched a digital services subsidiary company. Meanwhile, the rest of Telefonica gets on doing its business, because it's very difficult to transform to something new while you are running your current business.
When can we expect to get a copy of the book?
I'm hoping by the time we meet again in May in Dublin, there it will be in bound glory, and I'll present you with a copy.
Okay, well, I'll hold you to that, Keith. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Mike.
Pleasure.